Rose West sat in silence. Not in shock, not in sorrow. Just silence. A hardened, impenetrable calm as the courtroom air thickened around her. Fred was dead, gone before he could face what he had done. Now all eyes turned to her. The prosecutors laid out a sequence of horrors so detailed, so clinical, that the courtroom often fell deathly still. Rose, they said, was not just an accomplice. She was central. Fred may have built the walls of that house, but Rose painted them with cruelty. One by one, survivors took the stand. Some stumbled through their testimony, others delivered it with shaking rage. They spoke of nights filled with screams that went unanswered, of a mother figure who watched, or worse, joined in. The jury looked at Rose, hoping for a twitch, a flinch, something human. But there was nothing. She denied it all. Every name, every act, every scream. She was not there. She was asleep. She was busy. She knew nothing. She never laid a hand on anyone. But her children remembered. One of her daughters testified. Her voice didn't tremble. It cracked, raw. She described nights locked in rooms, footsteps creaking above her, voices whispering downstairs. She described Fred's violence. And then she described Rose's smile. The smile she wore while inflicting pain. The smile that said, "No one's coming to save you." In the jury box, one woman covered her mouth. A former lodger recounted what he'd heard behind the bedroom wall. The begging, the sound of a body hitting the floor, and how the next morning, Rose served tea as if nothing had happened. As if the night's agony had been a dream no one was allowed to remember. The prosecution brought out the tapes. They played audio recordings never meant for public ears, voices pleading, Rose in the background laughing. It wasn't proof, not directly, but it was a window, a moment of honesty captured in cruelty. Photographs were presented, the basement, the bindings, the walls, everything that remained after Fred and Rose had buried their truths. Evidence didn't lie, and this evidence screamed. The defense argued manipulation, that Fred had twisted Rose, forced her into silence and complicity, but survivors insisted otherwise. Rose didn't just know, she enjoyed it. In prison, Rose began to unravel. Not openly, not loudly, but there were signs. Her routines became rigid, her letters more erratic. She still proclaimed innocence, still said Fred was the real monster. But she didn't ask about her children, not once. Back in court, the verdict neared. 11 counts of murder. Each charge echoed like a drumbeat in the courtroom. The jurors didn't look at her. They stared at their own hands, at the floor, anywhere but into the eyes of the woman who had lived at 25 Cromwell Street. Guilty, the word hit like thunder. Rose blinked once. No tears, no protest. Just the quiet fall of finality settling around her shoulders. She was sentenced to life in prison, no parole, no redemption. The house was demolished. People gathered outside, some in anger, some in mourning. A bulldozer tore through the walls as if trying to erase the memory, but the ground didn't forget. Neither did the victims, nor did the country. 25 Cromwell Street was gone, but the horror, the legacy, lived on. Not in bricks and mortar, but in whispers, in stories passed down, in the ache of survivors, in the darkness that now had names. Fred and Rose West, the couple that made evil look ordinary.